Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Luke, also known as the Irishman Reacts, and tonight I'll be doing episode 4 of series 1 of the new Statesman. It's been a while since I last did an episode of this, so I thought I'd better do another episode because it's a great show, so funny. But before we get into it, I just want to do the you'd call it the housekeeping of the channel, just to promote the Patreon to you all a little bit because of the amount of content that's already on there. And over the course of 2025, there's going to be so much new stuff coming. There's going to be shows that people have been asking for a long time, at least considered by myself to start on the Patreon. And I think I'm going to do another one of those like voting things that I did that got us keeping up appearances on the buses, and what was the third show that came out of that? I can't remember, but whatever got us those 3 shows, it was like a voting tournament. There was like a first round, a semi-final, and then 3 finals. So I'm thinking of doing that again this year to get us at least 3 new shows. So here's the Patreon membership options. It starts from $1 a month, and you get content in that tier. In the $1 a month tier, you get, I'll show you what you get. You get the cheap Super 6, which is Bad Education, Not Going Out, On the Buses, Blackadder, Benidorm, My Family. That's the minimum that you get in that tier. There's other things that you get access to as well. And then there is the other tiers, which... there's a $2 a month tier, and then there's one for Pentatonics as well. There's also the home free tier. And then there's $3 tier, $4 tier, $6.19, $8, $12.40, $15.99, and then I've added a new tier which is $28.99 a month, just so that there's an option. All reaction channels have higher, well, not all, but most of them do. The good ones do, and I consider myself a good reaction channel. So yeah, I've put a higher priced option for people who want to really generously support me. Like, I mean, there's somebody with a tier that's like $100 a month. So yeah, I'm just trying it. You know, I'm not expecting you to pick that one. I'm just saying the option is there. So there's your options for the membership. Oh wow, I just did. What? I thought that person was rotting away then. Anyway, yeah. So the new Statesman. That's what we're here. Oh no, this isn't. This is the wrong one. The quality of the episodes of this show available online are terrible. I have to get this episode from this 2-hour and 50-minute compilation. It started there. Where was it? Yep, here we go. Right, here we go. This is the episode. So yeah, this is episode 4. I can't remember the name of it. This is series 1, episode 4 of the New Statesman. Let's go. Waste not, want not, that's it. Considering what this show's about, is this going to be about cutting costs, expenses? You piece of shit. hell's happened to this station?
Yeah.
Was it bombed?
This had better be very important, Norman. I have just ruined an 800 guinea suit.
That doesn't matter. We'll both soon be wearing government-issue suits with big arrows
Oh,
all over
it's
the...
this
Norman,
freak.
you're touching me. Calm down and tell me what the problem is.
We've got to get rid of that plutonium oxide in Hull, because it is deadly radioactive poison. And you know what that means. Life imprisonment!
Beg pardon?
They are going to knock down the lock-up garage in Pilchard Street, Hull.
Well, whose idea was it to put the stuff there?
Yours!
Did he say life imprisonment? Oh, no, don't worry. I wouldn't worry about life imprisonment. I mean, here in the UK, you can literally stab 3 little girls to death and not get life imprisonment.
The whole deal was your idea. Storing nuclear waste was going to be a growth industry, you said.
Well, I was right, wasn't I? General Galtieri paid us £55,000 to get rid of that tanker full of radioactive sludge.
He didn't pay us. He paid you. And then you lumbered me with finding
By the way, if there's any Americans watching this, no, I'm not joking.
somewhere to put
That literally happened. Someone who stabbed 3 girls to death did not get life in prison.
it.
Well, there you are,
There
then,
is a
it's your
chance
fault.
they will get out.
All right, it's my fault.
If they live long enough and behave
what
well
are you
enough.
going to do?
We'll move it, of course.
Where to?
Well, I don't know. We'll find some other lock-up garage in some other run-down Labour-controlled inner city. There's plenty of them.
Thanks
But
for
we
them.
are talking about the most powerful poison known to man. What if something went wrong? I wouldn't be able to live with myself. No.
What's he doing?
I'd rather tell the authorities and take my punishment like a man.
Yeah, but you're not a man anymore, are you, Norman?
No.
I mean, you're not a proper man, are you? The Norman Borman of 1982 was all for the Argentinian deal, but ever since you've been having that hormone treatment, you've been growing all soft and sentimental.
Yes, I admit it. I'm proud to admit it. I'm becoming a woman. I'm growing more sensitive.
Yeah, I can see your tits coming
Yes,
through.
it's true. Now,
Norman.
what about the nuclear waste?
Well, I'll think of something, Norman, don't worry. Oh, Norman, don't cry, please. I can't bear to see a grown transsexual cry.
A grown transsexual.
Alan! You're filthy.
I'm surprised you can remember Sarah. It's been such a long time.
Run along and change. Daddy's here. He's staying for a bite to eat.
Oh, God.
Daddy. You fancy a top-up?
Is the Pope Polish?
Well, this is a pleasant surprise, Roland.
No need to lie, Bastard. You're not in Parliament now. You look as though you've been down a coal mine.
Oh, this? This is called designer dribbles. It's all the rage in London.
Is it? Wouldn't put it past those metropolitan pansies. Thank you, madame.
Well, let's make a start. Charcuterie, Daddy.
Shark?
Charcuterie. Cold meats. You know, it's a French word.
Oh, French.
Are we
Might have
French?
guessed.
No.
You should know I never touch anything French. The last time I touched something French was in 1940. Her name was Giselle. I was pissing glass for a month.
And they say the art of dinner table conversation is dying out.
Yeah.
The ham's Danish, actually.
Still European, though, isn't it? Factory farm, saturated with phosphates and hormones, 2 mouthfuls and you grow tits.
That's not sincere, Daddy.
Quick, invite Norman round for dinner.
French again. I dare say it's 50% vinegar and 50% Jacques Chirac's brilliantine, but I'll give it a try. I was right.
It's always such a pleasure when you drop by, Roland. Helps keep me in mind with what people are thinking, to use the word loosely here in the constituency.
If you ever showed your smug little face in this town, you'd know what they were thinking. They're thinking their MP's forgotten where his constituency is. jobs?
I was elected to serve
Halton
Price at Westminster, not to run the local Citizens Advice Bureau.
You were elected because you're my son-in-law and I'm the chairman of the local Conservative Party. Don't you forget it.
Is it?
Perhaps you'd like some cheese, Daddy.
Oh, yes, do have some fromage. We have plenty of brie or camembert or Pont l'Evêque.
Or some fruit.
Yes, a French golden delicious.
It's good and delicious.
Haven't you got anything South African?
I think I got an outspan grapefruit in the larder. I'll just go and get it.
Now, to the purpose of my visit.
Yes, enough of the social pleasantries.
The annual village fete will be held next Sunday in my grounds at Ingleborough Hall.
Well, it's very short notice, Roland, but luckily I am free.
You don't think I'm going to ask you to open the fete, do you?
Well, naturally, I am the Member of Parliament.
And you'd milk the occasion for tawdry personal profit as you did last year. By the time you'd finished your party political broadcast, it was dark. No. We've got Ronald McGill to do the honours.
Ronald McGill, in Emmerdale Farm. Oh, it's wonderful.
Wait a minute. You mean to say you're getting some rustic to open the fete instead of me?
Some
Silly
rustic.
Alan. Emmerdale Farm's a television programme. Ronald McGill plays Amos Briley. Oh, that's jolly exciting, Daddy.
Oh, well, thank you for that vote of confidence, Sarah. I'll remember next time you want to go to London to rape Harrods.
If she wants to, you can afford it. Nouveau riche little parvenu like you.
Oh, I see. You don't mind using French words when they please you, do you?
Ah.
Are they French words? I didn't know that.
Oh dear.
Bugger if I'll use them again.
And then, a week after I topped him, some other fella confesses to the murder. Ah, well, that's the way it goes. You can't make an omelette without breaking necks. Oh, hello, sir. I was just reminiscing about the good old days.
Really? I suppose you consider killing my father-in-law, will you? You know, just to keep your hand in. Cash job.
Actually, your luck might be in there.
Oh, Gidley Park's always been a cantankerous old bugger, so you don't want to worry about him.
I wouldn't worry about him if he was dead. Mind you, hanging's too good for him, really, isn't it? I suppose you could arrange to have him torn limb from limb between two teams of dray horses. It'd be good publicity for the brewery, certainly.
That's very imaginative, sir. I can see you'd have loved it in the good old days when hanging was reserved for minor misdemeanors. Now, your hardened criminals, now they were hung, drawn and quartered. That is to say, sir, they used to hang them up, cut them down while they were still kicking, draw the entrails out of them with hooks, cut the body into 4 pieces and then stick the head on a pole as a deterrent. All that, of course, was done in public.
It was a lot of work just to kill one person, wasn't it? Hanging, drawing and quartering. I feel like, whenever I think of any country, even the United Kingdom back then, we were powerful and what have you, but back then the resources were very limited, so you'd think they'd try and make them last. But no. We came up with 3 ways to kill one person at once.
Must have been a lovely day out for the family.
Oh, by the way, sir, if you're eating tonight, the special is stuffed hard.
No, thank you, Sidney. I'll just stick to the brandy.
Half a mild. Hey up, are you Alan Bastard, the Member of Parliament?
Alan Bastard?
Bastard.
When Mr. Bastard is in here, Vernon, he is off duty.
Well, if you ask me, he's always off bloody duty. So the night my little grandson asked me what mythological meant. Oh, I said it's some fabulous non-existent creature like a unicorn. Or our MP, Mr. Bastard.
I'm terribly sorry about this, sir. Shall I eject him?
No, that's all right, Sidney. Let's hear him out. And then throw him out. All right, then, you odiferous little prole. You've got 1 minute.
Right. What have you ever done for this constituency? You or your party?
What have I ever done? People have never been so well off. All my friends drive BMWs and they're making a fortune.
I'm talking about proper industry with proper
Your
jobs.
friends.
I can remember when Britain was the workshop of the world, but you heartless new money.
Really gets me right there. Whenever someone says that phrase, that term, how Britain used to be the workshop of the world, because it was. You know, you got your textiles from Bradford, your steel from Sheffield, your cars from the Midlands, your money from London. Whatever kind of business you were in, you did it in London. Whether it was stock exchange, that was London. You got your coal from the north. Just everything was done here, absolutely everything, and nothing was too much trouble. We did everything. We had the world in the palm of our fucking hand, and we just gave it away. Do you know the amount of oil and gas that is underneath the North Sea and under British land, under British territory and on British territory? We could be completely energy dependent within 3 years, and they could do it in the same way that we do the NHS. Instead of paying a fixed a gas or gas and electricity bill every month, they could just set up like a national insurance system where everybody pays a bit into it, and you don't pay a bill. You just contribute to the network. We could do that in 3 years if our stupid fucking net zero obsessed socialist government pulled their fucking head out of their asses and realised that they've got fucking unlimited energy sitting underneath this country and started building nuclear power stations instead of these fucking windmills. Watched a video the other day, it showed the examples of what is possible based on the resources that we've got in this country. The oil in the North Sea, the gas, I think the gas is in Scotland. And we'd only need to build 4 nuclear power stations in Britain to power the entire country. 4. I hate this country. This fucking asteroid that's apparently hitting in 2032, I hope it lands right. It's slap bang in the middle of fucking Westminster.
Tories don't give it the worship of the world, but you heartless new money.
In fact, wait, no, I don't, because Reform could be in power then, and they're probably the last chance we have to sort things out. So, where are the Uni Party likely to be? Oh, I don't know.
Tories don't give a tinker's cuss about manufacturing.
That is a baseless slander. I buy British. I drive a Bentley. My suits, my shirts, and my shoes are all handmade by British craft.
Yeah, Bentley. I mean, not at this point, but Bentley was on its way to being mostly German. In fact, no, I think it was. I think there was some German involvement by this point, but now it's owned by VW. I think BMW have got Rolls-Royce, but Volkswagen Group have got Bentley.
Craftsmen, albeit with Greek surnames. And my shoes are all handmade by British craftsmen, albeit with Greek surnames.
I'm talking about proper jobs. I can remember when we had the most profitable coal mine in the whole of Yorkshire.
A coal mine? Here?
Aye. But you wouldn't know that, would you Tory toe rag?
Sydney, why don't I know about this coal mine?
Oh, well, it closed after
Stop
the
yourself.
1926 general strike, sir. And nobody knows to this day why
After
it never...
the what?
Oh, well, it closed after the 1926 general strike, sir. And nobody knows to this day why it never reopened.
Well, let me get this straight. You're saying that there's a large, unused hole very near here.
Well, so they say, sir.
Where is it?
Oh, don't ask me, sir. It's a bit before my time.
Well, who would know then, Sydney?
Well, the owner, of course.
But the general strike was in 1926. Is the owner still alive?
Yes, but he wouldn't be if you had your way, sir. It's your father-in-law.
Oh, right.
Are you sure there isn't a spare key to this contraption?
Well, you look like a chap who could do justice to a single malt.
Make that a double single malt.
Double single malt.
What have you two been chatting about?
Daddy thinks it's high time we started a family.
Right you are, father-in-law. We'll get right down to it the moment you leave.
Oh,
Mud in your eye?
Bastard, you're after something.
Yep.
No. Just trying to be pleasant. Make up for my appalling behaviour in storming out earlier on. Darling, I've bought you a present. It's in the garden.
no, really?
So, Roland. Daddy.
Daddy?
Good scotch?
Yeah, not bad.
Sir. 25-year-old Glenodal. They only make a couple of thousand cases every 6th year, so really at £63 a bottle, it's a snip.
And I was right. You have to be a nouveau riche little parvenu to be able to afford the stuff, huh?
Sorry, did he just call that whiskey Glenodal?
You know...
Glenodal. Glen Hoddle.
To be able to afford the stuff, huh?
I've been mulling over your criticisms of my parliamentary profile, and you're right. I've been spending too much time at Westminster and not enough time at my constituency.
No, Bastard, perhaps you're not quite the unmitigated worm I've always
Worm?
So, wearing my constituency hat, I'd like to ask you why Ingleborough Colliery never reopened after the general strike.
Ingleborough Colliery?
Yeah, don't you remember? You own it, apparently.
Oh, the colliery? Oh, that was years ago. General strike.
Waste not, want not.
Go on.
Well, I was only
Right.
21.
I'm gonna guess that it's still operating, but in secret. He closed it to the public after the strike, but then brought in a new team to run it. Or some of the workers who were still there when it shut were persuaded to stay on as well. Yeah, I'm upgrading my guess to that as a possibility.
Father had just died, and the workforce was riddled with communists. So, as the new young master, I had to take contingency plans to deal
What's
with
changed?
the threat of revolution.
Of course, of course. But that doesn't explain why the mine never reopened after the strike was crushed.
Well, it was a long dispute, you see, and unfortunately mine workings deteriorate rapidly if they're not maintained. So, by the time we'd starved the men back to work, there wasn't any work for them to shuffle back to.
How funny. Just as a matter of local historical interest, where was the mine, actually?
Hereabouts.
Whereabouts, exactly?
Why don't you concentrate on Westminster and stop poking your nose into local affairs?
Because you asked him to.
I
Well, you
can't
mentioned
find my
it.
present.
You're always in
there wasn't one, it was
Westminster.
a joke, ha-ha.
Wait, what?
It's a joke, ha-ha.
I can't find my present.
Oh, there wasn't one, it was a joke, ha-ha.
Aha. Aha. Aha.
Norman, you're looking quite curvaceous.
Thank you, darling.
And you can cut that right out.
I hope to, in due course. And when I'm a woman, the authorities won't be able to touch me. Unless they ask me nicely. Look, I've located the mine on this old map. Now, I've checked the 1982 version, and there doesn't seem to have been any building above the mine.
Splendid.
Of course, we ought to contact the county council, see if there's been development in the last few years.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea, yes. And then we could issue a press release, couldn't we, saying that Alan Bastard, MP, is about to dump 1,000 gallons of radioactive slurry in an area of designated natural beauty.
Sorry, darling.
Come on, let's get going. We've got a long drive ahead of us. Get off!
Oh.
What's going on? Geiger counter. Thought they were looking for a coal mine. Why have they got a Geiger counter? It won't be uranium or... Okay, maybe they will be. Or nuclear waste. Best, what?
This is it. Right, we're going to need the serious bolt cutters. And you.
You've got a big truck.
Nuke the gates, I suppose.
We can't dump it here.
Why not?
Because the mine runs under a school. That's why not. You can't dump nuclear fuel under an infant school.
No, you can't.
Cancel school.
Fuel under an infant school.
It's only a council school.
Politics! Don't come into it. They are children.
Look, you old woman. If the British people have just voted for an independent nuclear deterrent, then they should be proud to have British nuclear waste under their schools.
But this is not to the nuclear waste.
Well, then it's probably less radioactive. I mean, the Argies aren't as efficient as we are they, Norman? No. Well, then it's probably less radioactive. Waste have just voted. Look, you old woman. If the British people have just voted for an independent nuclear deterrent, then they should be proud to have British nuclear waste under their schools.
But this is not
To deterrent, then they... Look, you old woman. If the British people have just voted for an independent nuclear deterrent, then they should be proud to have British nuclear waste under their schools.
But this is not to the nuclear waste.
Don't worry, it's British waste.
Well, then it's probably less radioactive. I mean, the Argies aren't as efficient as we are they, Norman?
No! I'm sorry, Alan, but I draw the line. You are on your own.
You walk out on me now, Norman Borman, and you can whistle for the money for the rest of your sex change.
Well, I don't suppose I need your money anymore. The gamma rays coming off this truck, I wouldn't be at all surprised if I changed species, let alone gender.
Go on, be reasonable.
This job doesn't call for reason. This calls for a mindless psychopath.
Right.
I wouldn't mind if I wasn't paying the bill by the hour.
Oh, hello, sir. Come in, come in. I'm afraid I can't sell you a drink, sir, or else I should get into hot water with the licensing magistrates. But then, of course, you know that being one
Oh,
of them.
stop gibbering, Sydney. I know you spend every afternoon in the company of Gina, busty your Asian masseurs. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Isn't it?
Well, no, of course not. The girl's self-employed. She's doing a bit for Britain instead of lying around in bed all day.
But she does lie around in bed all day, sir.
It's not her bed, is it?
Oh.
Now, Sydney, I I'm going to confide in you.
Are you? Oh, thank you, sir.
And really, what I'm going to tell you shouldn't be known by anyone who hasn't signed the Official Secrets Act.
Oh, but I have signed it, sir. All us official executioners had to.
Did you? Oh, good. Well, then I can tell you. The Prime
Execution.
Minister has decided that the next vote on capital punishment will not be a free vote.
Oh, but that's wonderful, sir. That really is fantastic news.
No.
What does it mean, actually?
Well, Sidney, it means that this time next year, the prison population is going to start to drop very sharply. You get my drift.
You mean I'll get my old job back?
Who do you think is going to be the Minister for Death?
You, sir? Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, Sidney. So stick by me, and it'll be money for old rope. Now then, coincidentally, Sidney, there's a little something that you could do for me.
Oh, what's he gonna have him do?
If you don't mind my asking, sir, oh, dearie me, why are we dumping beer in a disused coal mine? Unless, of course, it isn't beer.
I can see you're not as stupid as you look, Sidney.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So, let me just say that what I don't tell you, the Russians can't torture out of you.
Got you, sir.
Right, Sidney, this is the plan. You shin down the ladder. I'll go and get the barrels of beer, drop them down to you, you catch them, and do the necessary.
I'm not going down there, sir, not even for you.
Why on earth not?
I'm afraid of depth, sir.
Afraid of what?
Depths, sir.
Depths.
Some
sir.
people are afraid of heights. I'm afraid of depths. That's why all the barrels in my pub, sir, are under the counter so that I don't have to go down into the cellar.
You're mad, aren't you?
Well, more you're neurotic rather than you're psychotic, sir. My psychotherapist says that it's all my subconscious guilt because of having to prepare all those people for the long drop.
All right, I'll do it myself. But I'm warning you, when the death penalty bill comes up for its third reading, I'm going to table an amendment in favour of the electric chair.
Oh, but you can't do that, sir. I don't know my AC from my DC.
Just get the barrels, Sidney. You're not afraid of barrels, are you?
I wouldn't be able to do this.
Danger.
That X looks suspiciously similar to the logo of a certain modern company. Doesn't it?
Mustard gas. Deadly poison. Best before December 1927.
As I told you, I had to make contingency plans against the threat of revolution. But for £55,000, that's what the Argies paid you, isn't it? I'll show you my disused quarry.
Roland Gidley Park. You're a bigger bastard than I am.
Gotcha!
Yes, I did! Television. that's the end. Okay, well, there we go. That is the end of episode 4 of the New Statesman. Waste not, want not. Waste not. Want, yeah, nuclear waste that was unwanted. Yeah. That's actually quite a clever title, actually. Yeah. As far as the episode went, it was funny. But I think this always is, really, isn't it? It's always to some degree of ha 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 ha. Just one thing though with this show, and it's foolish for me to expect this to be anywhere near the level of how funny Bottom was. But I don't feel like this show has been that level of funny yet. You know? Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. I like this show. It is funny. I really do enjoy this show. I love it. I love Rick and anything that he does. You know? So far, I haven't seen anything that he's done that I didn't enjoy. But I just wish it would pick up a bit more and move towards get closer to being like Bottom, being as funny as it, as slapsticky and crazy, and just, you know, all those things that you can, all the ways that you describe Bottom, just half of them to implement themselves in this, just to add that extra bit of what do you want to call it? The X factor to this show. But anyway, I'm not going to complain too much because I don't want to insult the show. It's still a very good show. It's funny, enjoyable. I mean, the opening scene. Pay for his parking meter with the money that a poor old busker sat on the street playing his was he playing the harmonica? You know, he just steals his hat full of coins and uses that to fill up the meter. Throws his hat on the floor, and then before he leaves, he says, "Here you go. There's 10p for a cup of tea." I'm like, "You cheeky bastard!" You know. Oh dear. He is a bastard, isn't he? That name isn't a coincidence. He is a bastard. Both literally, because he's part of the Bastard family, so he is actually a bastard. But he's also a bastard. Is that confusing anybody yet? Yeah. So I'm going to leave this on the screen because, yes, at the moment you've got some things going on Patreon, such as I said in the beginning, all these shows here are available for early access. So these shows go on YouTube eventually, but not in the way that they do on Patreon. So on Patreon, you'll get them as soon as I make them and upload them, and they're available to be uploaded. If you're on the Patreon, you'll get that. That's when you get them, as soon as I press send. On YouTube, you have to wait. And with exclusive shows, obviously, that's not an issue because it's just going on to Patreon. But at the moment, there is these shows. So yeah, so there's the New Statesman, obviously, My Family, Vikings, The Thin Blue Line. I'm going to be finishing that soon. And Filthy Rich. Last episode of that to go. So that's 2 shows that I'm going to be finishing probably before the end of February. Probably. Also, Believe Nothing. I don't think I'm far off the end of that either. If I could get all 3 of those shows finished in February, that'd give me the perfect excuse to start the, effort to find a new show. Yeah. Anyway, that's then, this is now. So, thanks everybody for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah. Just a bit of information on certain shows as well. So, Keeping Up Appearances, this is for the people on the Patreon and Rumble, because that's where the episodes of that, reactions to that go. So, Keeping Up Appearances was taken off BBC iPlayer. That's why I haven't done another episode since episode 1 of series 3. And I can't find decent quality versions of it anywhere. So, until I do, I'm not doing another episode, because I refuse to react to shitty quality episodes. This one of The New Statesman tonight, this was borderline. You know? That's about as bad as I'm willing to accept or use for my content. Same story with Blackadder. It was on BBC iPlayer. I did the first 5 episodes and then it disappeared. So, again, it's just so annoying. And I miss those shows. I loved Keeping Up Appearances. Up to the point that I was at with it. I loved it. It was hilarious. Blackadder, I was starting to really get into that as well. You know, first couple of episodes, it wasn't a show that I loved, but I enjoyed watching it and reacting to it. But I know that it gets better. I know that it goes through different eras. And things are going to change. And I was looking forward to getting to those points. But anyway, that's why those shows haven't been done for a while, because they're not available on iPlayer anymore. So there we go. But I think I'm going to end it there. So, thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And also, consider joining the Patreon, where you can get your membership from just $1 a month. That would be, 80 pence in today's current exchange rate market? I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, it's worth joining just to get early access to all the shows. And remember, the higher the tier that you join, the more you get access to. Once you're getting past the $6.19 a month tier, you're basically getting access to every piece of content I've ever posted on there and ever will post on there. But just read the descriptions of each tier carefully so that you can understand what it is you're paying for. What are the specific benefits in those tiers? It's important that you know that. So, bear that in mind. But thanks everybody for watching, and I will be back hopefully tomorrow with the next episode of another show. And I don't know what that'll be yet. I'm going to have a think about it tonight and then make my mind up. I might finish off Filthy Rich. I don't know. Depends when I've gone through the content that I've done over the last sort of 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days, to see which last episode of which show was done the longest time ago. Because then that's the one that's most overdue. And then that'll get done. But we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've had a great start to your week. And I will be back with more very soon. So until then, thank you, take care, and good night. Mwah.